we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, both whole numbers and decimal numbers. And as long as you focus on the place value, it's not going to matter if it's a decimal number or a whole number. Okay, so the first equation is 9 times 10 to the third power. Well, 9 is a whole number. It doesn't have a decimal, so we're just going to put a decimal after that ones place. Our exponent is 3, so we are going to shift 3 times. In those empty spaces, we will put zeros. So our answer is 9,000. Our second example is 39 times 10 to the fourth power. By the way, ask your child, why are we shifting up? They should tell you we're shifting up because we're multiplying. If we were dividing, which we will in just a second, we will be shifting back. Okay, place values increase if we're multiplying, decrease if we're dividing, or multiplying by a fraction. Okay, 39 times 10 to the fourth power. So we're going to write 39. There's no decimal, so we'll put one after the ones place. And then we're going to shift 1, 2, 3, 4, because we have a 4 in the exponent. Put those zeros in. Our decimal is not here anymore. It's out here. So this is our new ones place. So if we say ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, then our answer is 390,000. Okay. Now let's talk about dividing. Give me a second. I'm going to erase that. Okay. So if we have 7,200 and we're going to divide by 10 to the second power. Again, there's no decimal in this number. It's a whole number. So we are going to place a decimal at the end after the ones place. Okay, that's where the decimal would be. Because we're dividing, our place value is going to shift back. We have a 2 in the exponent, so that's how many times it will shift. We're just going to start with our decimal and go back 1, 2 times. So now this is our ones place. We've got ones and tens. So we can just write 72, or we could write 72.00. Those values are exactly the same. Okay, let's do another example. If we have 7,200,000 divided by 10 to the third power. We are going to place a decimal on the end of this whole number, and we're going to shift it back 1, 2, 3 times. So now this is our ones place, and our quotient is 7,200. And if you want to put decimal 000, you can, or you can just leave those off because it's the same value. Okay, so if it's a whole number, you just put a decimal on the end. Shift up or shift back. I wouldn't get into the habit of just adding zeros or taking zeros away, because then when you do have decimal numbers, it gets a little confusing. We just want to keep it consistent. Okay, so let's go through a few more examples of this. 4 and 25 thousandths times 10 to the third power. Because we're multiplying, our place value is going to shift up. The exponent 3 says we're going to shift up 3 times. So 4 and 25 hundredths, we're going to shift it up 1, 2, 3 times. So now the 5 is in the ones place. So this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Our answer is 4,025. Okay, if we had 40 and 25 hundredths times 10 to the fourth power, we're still multiplying, so we're still shifting up. Our exponent is a 4, so 4 times. So we'll start with 40.25. We're going to shift up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. In these empty spaces, we're going to put zeros. So this is now our ones place. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So our answer is 402,500. Let's do a couple more examples with division of decimals. Okay, so 72 5/10 divided by 10 to the second power. We're dividing, so this decimal or place value is going to shift back. Okay, it's going to shift 2 times because there's a 2 in the exponent. So 72.5, we're going to shift it back, back. Okay, so that's going to equal 725 thousandths. And we need to make sure we put a 0 in that ones place before the decimal. All right, and then the last example, 7 2/10 divided by 10 to the second power. We're dividing, so we're going to shift back 2 times because there's 2 in the exponent. So 7.2, 1, 2. So we're going to put a 0 here. We also need a 0 before that decimal, so that equals 72 thousandths. Okay, so just remember, if you're multiplying, your decimal shifts up. If you're dividing, your decimal or your place value shifts back, okay? The exponent is going to tell you how many times to shift. Or if it's a power of 10 without an exponent, it just has several zeros. The number of zeros will tell you how many times to shift up or to shift back.